Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team of eXp Realty with your May 2019 real estate market update. And today I want to start off a little bit with just some news. And I don't know if you notice it as much as I do with regards to the actual news or what is said in the news and what is actually happening doesn't always line up. There's not directly a correlation. I don't think that's just in real estate. I kind of think that's occurring in a lot of areas right now, but I notice it in real estate. But then again, I'm in it every day. So I did want to just touch on a couple of things there with regards to some of the reports that have been out on what we are actually seeing. Now, if you caught my update from last month, you know, one of the things that was a topic of discussion, or we were seeing a lot, was a recession. Are we heading for a recession? And at the time, 2/3 of all economists believed that a recession would occur within the next 18 months. So sometime between now and the end of 2020. And what's interesting about that is when home shoppers were interviewed, 70% of all home shoppers believed that a recession would occur within the next 3 years. Okay, can understand that, but it isn't impacting sales. Even though 70% believed that a recession would occur within the next 3 years, most are still buying homes. Now, kind of a caveat to that, which I did find pretty interesting, was that 59% of the home buyers that thought we were heading into a recession in the next 3 years actually think that the recession will be as bad or worse than 2008. No, not going to happen. I mean, if somebody has information to dispel my belief that it's not going to happen, please share it with me, because I don't see it. None of the reports I read show it. None of the experts I listen to are predicting it. But to me, that is even more interesting. If 59% of the people think it's going to be as bad as it was in 2008, why are homes still being sold? Okay, we're going to come back to that in just a second. But one of the things to keep in mind, to touch on, that we talked about last month, was when you look at recessions, you know, the common fear amongst home buyers is that they don't want to buy at the top, or the last thing they want to do is buy when prices are at their peak. But here's the interesting thing. If you look at the past 5 recessions, home prices have actually only gone down in 2 of them. Now, one of those times was in the crash of 2008, and they obviously dropped significantly. But the only other time in the 4 recessions prior to 2008 that home prices actually went down was in 1991. And the average decrease in home prices at that point was 1.9%. In the other 3 recessions, prices were actually up between 3.5% and 6.6%. So a recession isn't necessarily a bad thing for home prices. And with that in mind, it can give buyers a reason not to panic, you know, as long as they understand that. Now, the other thing that's interesting is when you look at non-owners, okay, so people that currently don't own a home rather. Of the past 4 quarters, the number of non-owners that currently want to buy has increased. It's now up to 84%. So 84% of those that currently don't own a home, regardless of economic outlook, wish they did or want to. Okay? Now, that is portrayed into the fact that when we look at traffic reports, and traffic is the amount of foot traffic we're seeing through listings, new home buyers are reporting through communities, etc. Those numbers are up 3 months in a row. Now, you might not see the effects of that directly in your own neighborhood, but overall, that is what we're seeing, which kind of, you know, fuels the concept or the belief that, you know, conditions aren't necessarily as bad as I have seen, you know, portrayed. Now, it is true that compared to a year ago, things might seem a little bit slower. The market in 2018 from January through June was gangbusters. It was going nuts. It fell off dramatically after June, and it started to come back since the beginning of this year. So with that in mind, let's go back to what we talked about before. If 59% of home buyers actually think the recession could be worse than it was in 2008, and 70% believe there will be one occurring in the next 3 years, why are people still buying? Why have the brakes not been put on completely? And I honestly think that there's two reasons. And I think one is affordability. The interest rates dropping down has greatly increased where housing affordability is. Now, again, in all areas, it doesn't actually seem that way, but unemployment remains at record lows and wage growth is up. So if you go back and look historically again, last year, housing affordability was more affordable than at any time between 1990 and 2008. So housing affordability is there. Number two, let's look at rent. Yes, house prices have been going up, but rents have been going up significantly faster. As a matter of fact, if a recent rent survey was done, looking at some notes here, since 2005, and this goes to the end of 2018, so between 2005 and 2018, the average rent is up 36%. During that exact same time period, the average mortgage payment is down 3.4%. That's a huge swing. So it can also help explain why homes are still selling. So what does all of this mean to you? Well, the bottom line is, with the latest economic numbers that have come out with regards to wage growth and unemployment, economists are updating their forecasts. And as I said at the beginning of this, 2/3 of economists believed a recession was inevitable within the next 18 months. That's not the case anymore. If you're actually seeing this video on the blog, I've got some quotes from some of these economists below where they don't think a recession is imminent, that it's being pushed off further based upon current economic climate. But the bottom line of all of this, if you're planning to buy or you're planning to sell, don't change your plans. There's nothing right now to indicate that you need to change your plans. Real estate is very personal. When it's the right time for you to buy or sell is when the circumstances are right for you to buy or sell. Right now, everything is moving along. In all of the markets that we look at, pending sales months over month continue to increase. They may be down a little bit from a year ago, but month over month this year, they continue to increase. And sales continue to increase month over month as well. Now, if you'd like a detailed report on specifically what's going on in your neighborhood, we offer those. We have what's known as monthly market reports, and they can be customized to the area right around your home or your actual community. It will show you all of the latest real estate trends, number of new listings, average sales price, days on market, and it goes out to you once a month to keep you updated. If you're interested in that, just drop us an email. Just send an email to marketreport@theandrewsmithteam.com, and we'll get back to you and help get that set up. As always, if you have any questions in the meantime, please give us a call at 888-447-9650.